What's up, YouTube family?
What's up? What's up?
It's your girl Clem.
And it's your girl Shan.
What? Who? Shan? Okay.
All right, YouTube. Gotta keep the grandbabies down. They keep banging on the door trying to get in here. I guess they want to be on camera or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But today we got victimhood has been a mental plague on the black.
By Candace Owens.
On Black America.
Okay.
So this is Candace Owens, and it looks like she's at on Fox News.
Okay.
On this one. So we're gonna get on into it. Victimhood has become a mental plague on Black America.
Baby.
Let's see what her input is about that.
Last night I showed you how the left ate up another potential racial situation. Ended up being a racial hoax, we think. This one from Georgia state lawmaker Erica Thomas. Now, after their dishonest spin fell apart when Thomas's alleged harasser, Eric Sparks, turned out to be a Cuban Democrat, doesn't like Trump or Republicans, part of the anti-Trump resistance, well, it turns out Thomas changed her story. But yesterday, Thomas changed her story back again. If you're confused, so are we.
I want to make sure that everyone knows that in any way am I backtracking on my statement or am I retracting on anything that I said. It's when he said and made a reference to, go back where you came from. He said it right after he said, no, I know you people. You're ignorant. After that, he kept berating me and harassing me, and that's when I said, and you can see from when the cameras will be put out from Publix, I pointed to the door, and after he said go back, I said, you go back.
If you've been a tech product manager for a few years now, I bet you find it almost impossible to move into leadership roles.
None of this should come as any surprise given Thomas's history. She once unironically called herself Jussie Smollett's #biggest fan. Just over a year ago, Thomas portrayed another slight, this time reportedly at the hands of hotel employees. At the pool at the Westin, and after the waitress asked the Caucasian people on both sides of me for their order and skipped over me, minutes later, the pool boy asked me for my room key. This cannot be real right now. I am a guest too, right? #racist. Was this true? Impossible to prove, but that's kind of the point. You see, Thomas is a member of what we call Generation G, or the grievance generation. They are the product of decades of leftist control of our schools, our entertainment industry, and they're breeding a culture of resentment and envy. Basically, a society of victims. And the victims, no matter what, are always right. Here now to discuss, Candace Owens, founder of the Blexit movement, and former DNC comms director, Luis Miranda. Great to have you both here tonight. Candace, Thomas isn't completely to blame here. There's a Democrat and media complex that all too often rewards this. It is a kind of a grievance culture. I mean, Generation G, we hear about Generation Y and X, but gosh, there's a lot of grievance out there that's kind of unprovable, the underlying allegations.
Right, you know, in many ways, she is a victim of the culture, and I've said this over and over again ad nauseum, which is just that victimhood has become almost a mental plague upon Black America in particular, because that word racism is being so overused that society is becoming desensitized to it, and we actually can't even recognize it when it actually exists. We think everything is racist. Things that used to be normal conflicts between human beings, getting cut off while you're driving, having a bad correspondence in a grocery store, you should just brush it off, shrug it off, and move on with your day. Now people are crying and making videos and pleading on Facebook to say, look what I experienced today. I mean, it's sad for her, but I think it also says, as you mentioned earlier, it's something bigger that's happening in culture that needs to be addressed before it goes too far.
Luis, the individual who she accused seems like he really doesn't like Trump. He's a Democrat, he's Cuban. He's not a white man. What are your thoughts on how this all went down?
Well, he's easily the worst person in this story, and he's someone who looks at a pregnant woman in front of him and decides to insult her, and by his own admission calls her a lazy SOB. There's probably a tinge of racism there. I can't believe that he would call her a lazy SOB if he didn't have some of that. But the media certainly overplayed this, but none of that absolves the fact that the discourse in our country has coarsened way too much, that there's way too much racial tension. attention. If he did tell her to go back and use another line, it's understandable that she may have misunderstood that based on the incredible tension that we have in the discourse that we have right now about these racist things that Donald Trump uses for political gain. So that's definitely an underlying problem. But at the end of the day, I think that the bad person in this story is really this man who, instead of seeing a pregnant woman and asking help.
Yeah, he's a jerk. I mean, but how many times do all of us in the course of maybe a week have something happen where someone's slighting us, or someone's saying something, or cutting off, as happened to me today. Someone cutting me off. Not only cutting me off, but cutting me off with a millimeter. I got 3 kids in the car. Millimeter away from me, and then flipping me the bird. Wait, why are you flipping me the bird? I'm like, but I'm saying I could look for any.
But can I ask a question? Can you insult a black person? Can you insult a black person without being a racist? That's just a question.
I think the minute that he went with lazy, he was using.
Are you saying black people are lazy?
No, but that's
why does the word lazy make you think
that is a
about?
Common racist
No, it is not.
trope.
I've never been called lazy my entire life. So the question is, why does the word lazy make? No. I'm asking you a question. I asked you a question. You said that lazy makes you think of black people. That's what you're saying.
That is a common racist trope.
So that's within you, not within him. That is not a common racist trope towards black people.
And it's incredible that you're defending a man who looks at a pregnant woman.
I think he's a jerk. No. I think he's an absolute jerk.
That is so disgusting.
You're trying to be insulting because you're trying to move the ball because you just accidentally called black people lazy. That's
what
really
happened.
I know
what you were. Typical racist.
Okay, it's not a racist trope. Lazy is a word that means that you're not doing all the time.
Okay, we got to stop, guys. It's getting too hot. Okay, but I think this does go to the point that we should be able to have bad days, and people should be able to make mistakes. And he probably made a mistake and was really rude to her, and he admitted it. That doesn't mean he's maybe he is, maybe no one can know. But the point is, the second an allegation goes on a Facebook Live, whoever makes it, I don't care if it's a conservative or a liberal or someone in between, it's instantly picked up if it's validating a progressive worldview. That's instantly picked up. Got Eric Liu goes on TV, congressman. We had people on television, pundits weighing in. You see, this is what Trump's caused. And I think he seemed to be saying, go back to the other aisle. So now go back to the other aisle is go back to your country, which she changed her story on.
Much more careful with anything that goes viral. And look,
Ted Lieu. Sorry, I didn't say Eric Liu. Ted Lieu.
A lot of the discussions that we have.
You know, if he'd have said to me, go back where you came from, I said, I'm not going back to the dairy department. You go back to the aisle that you came from.
Right.
You was on the soda aisle. You go right back to aisle 10.
Yeah.
I ain't going back to the dairy department. I'm finna pay for my food and go, man. I'm not going back there. I would have thought telling me to go back.
But what do you feel about, okay, black people are lazy? If somebody uses that, does that mean that they're being racist?
Yeah, black people that's lazy. Yeah, white folks are lazy.
That's lazy. You got Hispanic people that's lazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mexicans. You got a lot of lazy people.
Yeah, different races. Different races can be lazy, and I don't even think it's the lazy part of it. I think it's just they're tired. I don't know, man. Just tired.
Sorry,
some people are. But you can tell the difference between a lazy person and a tired person.
It's lazy.
But it doesn't mean that they're racist.
Yeah, but other than that.
Have on this very show are a grievance culture in and of itself, just from the other perspective. So the reality is that we have a culture that is incredibly divided, that the debate is coarsened, and you either have a grievance on this side or you have it on that side. And at the end of the day, what you have to do is, I think of Dr. Martin Luther King's call to, you can't drive out darkness with darkness, you have to drive it out with light. And that's where we have to move the country forward, is that we're not attacking each other in this way, where somehow these kinds of confrontations become normal. The police confrontation that you saw earlier, unacceptable on
well,
any
I think, again, the lack of respect that we talked about on the angle tonight, this is not something that happened overnight. We saw what happened during the Obama years, before Obama, during Bush, during Reagan, before that, going all the way back to the late 1960s. I mean, you go back and you watch that raw footage of that police versus the protesters. They were bad actors on both sides of that, and the DNC. That was, I mean, that's not very long ago. That's when it all kind of began. And the disrespect cuts across many levels of our society. And it kind of ends up where people feel afraid. A lot of people I know are afraid to say anything. They don't want to share a thought because someone will take it the wrong way. They don't want to, they're afraid to say their opinion on anything. That's also not a good place to be. Candace, I know you've been through, also we have breaking news. Candace just gave us this news. Sorry, I forgot. You were blocked tonight. Speaking of Maybe AOC thought you disrespected her. You disrespected AOC?
Yes, I got
How do you
blocked.
dare do that? You
It's
can't
really
do that.
sad. Yes, I mean, I called her an intellectual coward because she says a lot of things and she throws a lot of insults, and yet she will not debate anybody. She doesn't want to debate people on the opposite side of the aisle. And I think that if you actually believe what you believe, you would be happy to sit down and have a discussion and a dialogue with somebody to get to the core of whose ideas are better. And I don't believe that she believes anything that she says beyond getting clicks and getting retweets.
I believe she believes. I disagree. I think she believes.
I don't, because why not just show up and have a debate?
Well, maybe
why not debate someone?
Yeah, well, maybe she's not very comfortable in debate, but I think she calls
everyone racist.
Yeah, that's unfortunately that kind of ends the conversation.
It does instantly, and it's unfortunate. We have to be able to just call somebody lazy.
Yeah.
We have to be able to just say awful things. We have to be able to be in a bad mood.
All right, Louise,
not everything is racist.
Look, I don't agree with AOC a lot, but I might block you too after this conversation because
come on.
I'm just but the reality is that the debate has gotten way too coarse, and we need to change it. And I think Democrats, if they're going to beat Donald Trump in November of next year, we can't fall into the same type of rhetoric that we're trying to fight on the Republican side, whether it's about Ivanka or Kellyanne or anybody else.
Okay, guys, we got to go. We're up against a hard break. Thank you so much, panel.
So why was she crying like that?
Okay. You know what? I don't know why I always want to play.
Well, I do that all the time, man. It's like you don't know how to just cut the screen off.
I don't know how to do it.
Sit over that next time, man. It's ridiculous. But every time.
My finger's small.
That's what it is. Okay, small fingers. Let that be the reason.
Small fingers. Okay, so I guess she had posted something else.
But it was something about on the at the airport, right? Someone said something to her on the flight. Was it that? I mean, I'm kind of confused about it.
I'm just on the grocery store part, and then she posted something about the hotel. But the waiter not taking her order.
Stop giving people so much power, man. Ignore them. I had two guys come to me at the job, at place I contract at, and they said, "Hey, man, just want to talk to you, man. Every time we behind you drive too slow. It makes no sense. You're a truck driver, and I don't understand why you drive so slow, man." And the other guy said something, and it was really hot about it. I said, well, let me ask you a question, man. When y'all was behind me, was it two lanes or one lane? They said, it was 2 lanes. I said, go around. And he looked at me, and it made sense to them. Just go around.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, sometimes, just ignore it.
Yeah. Not everything is racist.
Walk away. If he say something, go where you came. Go back where you came from. Just leave. I don't have to entertain you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just walk away.
Yeah. Because it's like if you could get cut off in traffic, what you gonna do is follow the person to where they at and say, "Hey, you cut me off." It's like
when I first started driving trucks, I had a guy, man. We was having road rage, 2000, I believe, year 2000. So I was in this garbage truck, and the guy was in the regular car, and he yelling, I'm yelling. I said, pull over. Just pull over. We was riding at the same time. So he actually pulled over, and I just kept going. I'm like, you idiot. I was young at the time, man, but I was like, he actually pulled over. What we gonna do?
Okay.
Fight each other on the side of the road?
Right. Mm-hmm. But but like you said, you can't think everybody is just being racist. You can tell when somebody's being racist towards you, and then you can tell when somebody's just being nasty towards you.
He said your kind is just lazy. Then you like, wait, your kind? What you mean your kind?
Women, men? Are we talking black people? Like what? But as far as
I'd be like, your kind is lazy too. That's laziness. So black people lazy. White people lazy. You got lazy on every side.
You got lazy
it's on
kids.
Every side, man.
You got lazy kids. You got lazy adult children.
Lazy dogs.
Lazy dogs. You got lazy fish. It's a whole list.
Lazy,
but we can't list them all.
Lazy does not discriminate.
No. You can't use the word lazy to say that's a racist. Oh, that's because it applies to most black people. What? Yeah, no, I ain't doing that. All right, guys, tell us some other things that are lazy, if you like. But don't forget to like and subscribe. and continue to check us out.
All right, peace.